This is your writer, Anthony L. Kelly, right here. Check it out. These are my books. Mac, Jaja, book, Sunshine. And this is my first book published, Saving Miss Caroline. And this is my latest, El Manic. Go check this book out, man. This is a nod at hip-hop on its 50th anniversary. This is a nod to one of the illest MCs to ever do it, Nasir Jones. This is me shedding the light on mental illness. I'll leave all the links in the description box. Salute to everybody who's ever supported me, man. Y'all go support your boy, Anthony L. Kelly. Check till next time. I'm out.
Say the least. All right, so the Met Gala went down yesterday in New York City, and a lot of weirdos came out with a lot of weirdo outfits. We're going to talk about that a little bit and talk about Boosie. You know, saying that this event should just be for women. We'll give our opinion on that. Also, yesterday, I think we got a good conversation started when we were talking about, you know, how blacks don't run hip hop. And I came up with a title today that would suggest that blacks are a guest in hip hop. Blacks are a guest in hip hop. Also, we're going to talk about comedians that fell off, Henry Ruggs, and something that Vic Mensa said that I want to talk about. Let's start with this Met Gala thing, though, man, because you know, Boosie, he's coming out and saying that this should just be for women. And I think I know why he's saying it. But what's your thoughts on it?
Well, before he said that, and obviously we've been seeing Met Gala footage and pictures and shit for years, right?
Right.
I don't really know what it's about. I don't really know what it's hitting for. I know you got to get a special invite and all this stuff. And I know people dress up as weird as they possibly can and go into this event and do what? I don't know. And I'm not the most fashionable in the world. I more chill than I am fashionable. So I'm not the one that's an expert in fashion. Maybe they look absolutely incredible when it comes to the fashion. But the sit look kind of sissy-ish, if you ask me, sometimes when it comes to the men involved in it, because I feel like some of the men, not all of them, because we've seen some brothers that were dressed down and did what they had to do, but they go out of their way to overly look feminine. Let's just keep it what it is. In some of these events, and they want to be filmed looking ultra feminine. Now, you wear what you want. I'm not sitting back saying you can't wear this or wear that, but I feel like sometimes with this Met Gala, I don't know what the overall objective and goal is, to go out of their way to make themselves look like some kind of creature or whatever the case may be, but I would love to see it to be just women, and that's not to be over-sexualizing anything. Just enjoy the beauty and the glamour, and I would think that I would probably understand and appreciate it a lot more if, in fact, it was something geared toward that. Like, you just had the men on their shoulder wearing solid black tux, and they just highlighted the women. All right, I'm cool. But when I see women and men dressed exactly the same in dresses and yarmulkes and shit, I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it looks like the men are trying to outdo the women. You know what I mean? On some weirdo type shit. You know, and it's almost like who can wear the most crazy, outlandish thing to get people talking about it, to get blogs and people and writers to write about it. And we've seen that. We've seen Lil Nas, you know, he came out with the all, I don't know what he was, like some
Glass,
some Roman I don't know what it was, but I agree, man. But hey, you know, that ain't gonna happen. You know, you got dudes out there that, you know, as they call it, metrosexual. I don't know if that's the term no more, but you know, they into fashion. You know what I mean? And you know, they got guys wearing purses and skirts and different things like that. If you say something against that, then you ain't with the times now. You old school. You ancient. Guys can wear this. Who is to say that girls can only wear skirts and blouses, and we even seen that. So it's like guys wearing blouses now. Well, it looks like women blouses. So this world is just a different world than I grew up in and you grew up in, and I'm not going to embrace this shit. I'm sorry. I'm not.
I say yarmulkes, and I apologize. That's what the Jewish religion wears, right? For their,
I think.
If it is, my bad, because I ain't mean to offend nobody with that statement.
Woo.
I just want to talk.
You don't want them boys on you, man.
Not by accident.
Nah,
not when I
what you
said
mean.
some shit just to joke, and I ain't understand what I said. That's my fault. But these it's some weird shit going on. It really is, and I know that Jonathan Majors got his invitation revoked from the Met Gala.
Oh, really?
Yes, and he was upset about that. So I don't know what goes on there. It seemed like one big ass Illuminati meeting to me, and they go in there and do their
So Cardi B was there, wasn't she?
Always.
But that's weird to me.
Uh-oh.
I ain't trying to go there. But it's like, what did she admit? What did she admit on camera?
Yeah, we saw it.
She admitted on camera, though it was in the past, she admitted something very vile, something very crazy on camera. Not too long ago, you know, it was kind of a hot story, maybe a year or two ago. She's allowed there.
Yeah.
This dude has just been, it's just accusation at this point. He hasn't been charged.
Right.
And respectfully, she hasn't either. But
Right.
she admitted that she did it.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Majors just denying it. Double standard there? I would say so.
A little bit. And it's all in who you like or what the objective is or how the media spins it, pretty much.
Pretty much.
If the media don't spin it in a way that makes them look crazy and they throw it under the rug, so does everybody else.
Yep.
We're in a copycat world and a copycat society. But to transition real quick, I want to talk about this because we talked about, I just alluded to like the weird Illuminati type-esque meeting, right? And our man Isaiah Washington, we've interviewed him before, shout out to him. He went in today on some things that are going in Hollywood. Now, I know you've seen Matthew Lawrence, the dude that played in Miss Doubtfire back in the day and shit. He said some things about Hollywood. And then Isaiah Washington said this. He said, I'm wondering if I posted about the actor Sam Rockwell being drunk and flicking my dick in a bar when I told him to apologize before I kicked his ass and told the producers, the Russo brothers, that I was going to handle him. He finally apologized and bought me a bottle of scotch. 2 nights later, actor George Clooney walks up to me in the same bar and says, I hear you don't like to get your dick flicked, and does the same exact thing knowing I couldn't knock him out. Will the mainstream media write about these allegations in a tweet? Nope. No cease and desist, and just crickets. What they need to do is leave me the hell alone before I really start talking.
Oh.
I'll wonder.
Now is that a tweet from his real account? Because hopefully I don't want people coming out and say, oh, that was a robot that did it or he got hacked.
That was his real account.
No doubt.
I'll text him to confirm that shit. That was his real account.
Right.
But what do you think about that? We've heard these rumors and things about Hollywood. Now we're seeing more men come out and talk against some of the things that they have to experience as far as that weird type sexual behavior when it comes to Hollywood. So do you think there's a correlation when we see things like the Met Gala? I'm not going to associate the Met Gala.
Right.
But it's with things like that and what we hear in Hollywood, do you think it all is true, man?
Yeah, I do. And I'm against any type of predatory sexual behavior, whether it's guy going after a woman does not want it, or a man going after a man does not want it. I'm against all of that. All of it to me is that, the essay, in my opinion. If you go up to a woman and smack her in the booty, or if a dude is Terry Crew and you're grabbing your nutsack, you know what I mean? I don't know what guy's going to stand around there not do anything, but I get it. Maybe, it's an atmosphere where he's just not, and I'm not even saying you being emotional. That's a natural reaction.
Right.
You grab my shit, I'm swinging on you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're a guy. That's just like, come on, we don't play like that. A woman, it's a little different. I'm not gonna be like Busta Rhymes. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's just, but for years, before we were born, there's been allegations coming out of Hollywood like this. And I just think, honestly, man, a lot of people say, right, that the whole H thing, a lot of it is predatorial. And I've heard that, you know what I mean? Men on men, women on women. A lot of it is like kind of grooming people and going after people that's not really into it, but trying to kind of turn them out. I hear that a lot. I know you hear it too. You know what I mean? So I don't know if this is something that has to do with that, but I believe him 100%. I don't see why he would make this up, man, at all.
I think you brought up Terry Crews, and I think a lot of the reason why we clown Terry Crews is because a man's natural reaction is to knock that dude 10 yards through the fucking air, pick him up and knock him 50 yards in the air for ever trying to violate you as a man in front of your wife. And the fact that he almost allowed it to go down, and we don't know the circumstances, what type of money was involved with that nut grab or whatever the case may be, but it's like, okay, X all that. You can't do that. And how many people are allowing this to go down simply to hold a career and keep a career? A lot of people, they just attribute it to acting. And I believe that some actors really can find a role and go into places that they don't typically go into in their normal human life. But I also believe that there's a little bit of an agenda to that too, where they specifically want you to do certain things in order to gain more success. And I think that it's more than color at this point. You're seeing more than just black people, more than just Hispanic people come out and say these things. I just think that the punishment may be a little harsher for us. When it comes to the ramifications of us not doing it.
Yep.
This is why we see a lot more of our brothers wearing dresses than we see the white counterparts. Not to say that they don't do it, because they do.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's a lot more when it comes to the rise of superstardom with our counterparts. We've seen our man Miguel Nunez talk about doing Joanna Man 2.
Oh, yeah.
Who the fuck wants to see that? Didn't want to see Joanna Man 1. Why can't we see a Pretty Ricky Fontaine Part 2 or some shit? Why we got to see Joanna Man too? So I don't know, man. I think it's something to that. Obviously, they give a nice bag for men to emasculate themselves, and it's something to it.
Hey, I was watching Ladybugs the other day, and I remember when we was little. It came out like '92. We used to watch this all the time. Back then, we didn't really think about the ramifications of that. They put that little boy in a dress.
Yep.
Back then, now I seen the other day. I'm like, yo, why the hell is this little boy in a dress? And it may be comedy, it may be funny. I understand that, but it's like it got to be something behind it. Like you said, it's not just race specific. You know what I mean? But for us, it seems like, and you know, as much black actors as I can name that wore a dress, you could probably give me the same amount that didn't.
Yep.
Because there's so many black actors, I get it, but it's just like when we did a lot of interviews with actors, and we probably asked maybe 20 or 30 of them. I'll say 10 or 15 to be real and to be modest about the dress thing. We should probably could put something together on that.
Yeah, you probably more like 20 to 30.
Maybe, yeah, if you really go back. And it's like we asked them about it, and we got all different answers about that whole different, you know, spectrum. So it's crazy, man. And you know, I just don't see why that would have to be a part of, you know, your catalog, putting the dress on. There's so much other things that could be funny, that can make people laugh by, in my opinion, emasculating you, putting you in a dress. Because that's what I think it is. Yeah. I think it emasculates you even further, you know, to put a black man in a dress, especially because it's like the image. Image is so important, man. Yeah. We don't realize how important the image is, not only in our community, but how we perceive by other people.
Right.
And if we keep saying, you know, every black male getting destroyed in the media by different allegations, wearing dresses, it's almost like you ain't no man no more.
Right.
It's like they promote you to be a sissy or a clown or a comedian, as we see. Mm-hmm. Those are the people that seem to ascend more, the people that are clowners, the comedian guys, the guys that want to wear wigs, the guys that want to wear dresses. It just seems like that. And it seems like that real black masculinity is not really promoted like that. That's what it seems like.
100% facts. And the thing is crazy is like nobody's questioning what you want to do with yourself sexually behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
It's a predatorial element involved in this, that they're trying to turn out heterosexual men that clearly want to just deal with women, don't have nothing against what you want to do, but you want to turn out heterosexual people. That's the weird predatorial piece that I just don't understand. If you Hollywood and you happen to be homosexual and you want to sleep with other homosexual people that follow that lifestyle, do you?
Right.
But you got people that don't even deal with that, and just because you got some weird sexual fantasy about the thing, you're going to try to turn them out and use your power as a piece to influence that and take away something out of their pocket. It's sick.
Yeah.
But it's reality.
Yep. No different than a guy. It is kind of different though than a guy, I would say.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? When you're talking about like the H word, you know what I mean? Trying to turn a guy out as opposed to a man trying to get at a woman. I think it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it is.
Because, you know, you make babies and stuff with women. Men and women make babies.
Right.
That's just the way it is. The other thing is just like, whoa. Like you trying to turn somebody out to a totally different way of life. And it's like, it happens in the bedroom. Keep it in the bedroom.
Yeah.
We ain't got to know about it. Do what you do in the bedroom. Keep behind closed door. You want to do your thing. I don't have no hate, no bias against you. It's when you start trying to force it on other people or turn this person out with it, to me, it comes to a point where it's like, okay, this is getting scary.
Oh, God, what would the conversation be like if us as two heterosexual men seen two homosexual females that we were attracted to and said, you know what? We're going to fuck y'all straight again. What would the conversation be like if we, as heterosexual men, said we were going to turn homosexuals back into heterosexuals?
Right.
They would fry us.
Yeah.
At the stake. But this happens all the time in Hollywood on the opposite end. But this is what's being promoted. This is being highlighted. This is what is being pushed into the forefront for whatever reason. Because I don't know why sexuality is being pushed toward any forefront. That's a private situation between you and that person. Spooky, bro.
Yeah, and you got to be able to have these conversations, I think, and not be scared of these type of conversations, man. And you just got to be able to have them as men,
period,
and women,
out
there.
Absolutely.
Well, another conversation I think we need to have is Vic Mensa. Vic Mensa did an interview with Spin Magazine where he talked about, you know, the police, and he said the police are not our biggest issue. They may be a definitive factor, and if you live or die today, but you're going to deal with much more run-of-the-mill violence from your own kind. He added, because that's just the psyche and programming of our communities. So it's like, as a young black man, must learn to become the aggressor unless you want to be the victim. What's your thoughts?
I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Now, although the media may give us an image that every police officer wants to kill every black man in the world, that's just not the case. And when you look at how many rappers have we talked about, unfortunately, passing away due to violence in the last 4 years, 5 years we've done this platform, how many died at the hands of the police? And then how many died at the hands of somebody that looks exactly like them? 9 times out of 10 in the neighborhood they grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the reality and the fact. And we talk about it when it relates to this podcast. Somebody of a different hue as us can go and ask incriminating questions and nothing will happen. We go and ask the same questions, and we got to watch our back when we walk out that door.